Like and follow News 1226 on Facebook for the latest up-to-date coverage near you.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
It is a decades-old tradition with a very serious message bringing awareness to sexual assault. How Augusta University is using some T-shirts to spread the word.
Plus, nursing mothers around the world have new hope and new resolve to keep nursing in this pandemic. And it's all thanks to a mom and a nurse from right here at Augusta. Our team is breaking down this new discovery between COVID-19 and breast milk.
But first up this evening, reports of child abuse are up in the area after seeing a drop during the pandemic.
As our team reported a little earlier this year, cases were down during shelter-in-place orders, likely because kids were at home and not around the people who would report the abuse, like their teachers. But now that kids are back in school, we are seeing those reports shoot back up. Tonight, News 12 Cindy Heiberger taking a closer look at the data.
These pinwheels sitting outside the Aiken Family Y don't just represent a fun childhood toy. Each one signifies a confirmed case of child abuse in Aiken and Barnwell counties last year. Here, there are 418. Over at the Wilson Family Y, hundreds more. Between the two locations, 1,100 pinwheels.
It really is sobering to see that these children in our communities, they're so badly affected.
Each one a child, like 12-year-old Derek Camp, who died after investigators say his mother and her boyfriend punished him to death.
Any employee that you ask across the association that does work with children, it's heartbreaking. We look at these kids as our own.
Child abuse experts like Caitlin Brantley of Child in Richmond say reports of abuse actually decreased during the height of the pandemic. Normally, she says her organization gets between 40 to 60 reports per month. During the pandemic, that number was closer to 10 to 20.
What we know is abuse is happening in our community every day, but we were just not exposed to mandated reporters like teachers and daycare workers, so they were isolated to their own families unless reports were coming in that way.
Now that kids are back in school, reports of abuse have gone back up. So far in 2021, Child in Richmond has investigated 130 cases.
We don't want abuse to happen in our community, but the way we look at it is that if it is, we want to be the people who are intervening.
The pinwheels, a not so subtle reminder of a major issue plaguing the CSRA. But if they can raise awareness and save even one child, Samantha Whitaker says, they'll have been worth it. In Aiken, Sydney Heiberger on your side.
And the best thing experts say you can do at home to help is to learn the warning signs of child abuse and make a report as soon as you see anything suspicious, just in case. And we're putting these numbers for you on our website, also our app. But go ahead, take a picture if you want to have this handy. In Georgia, to report abuse at any time, you can call 1-855-GA-CHILD. In South Carolina, the number is 1-888-CARE4US.
Quick look outside now as we... Anthony, thanks. Pausing the Johnson & Johnson vaccines is not helping the fight against vaccine hesitancy.
At first, we saw the health community really work to educate and get shots to the hesitant minority communities, but there's another group of people our local experts say they're still working to try to convince. News 12's Brady Trapnell live in the studio to explain for us. Brady.
Well, Laura, it's something I've heard from most of our local health officials. Vaccine hesitancy in rural, predominantly white Republican areas. But it's not just them. Vaccinations overall are slowing down. 32-year-old Peter Chong finally booked the appointment. Today was his day to get the vaccine.
I just kind of waited, see how other people, friends, take it, see what kind of reactions to expect. And then once I got a pretty good consensus of what to expect and kind of that, I just felt comfortable.
His grandmother lives with him, and he wants life back to normal, but he has friends who are still hesitant.
They get the flu shot every year, but then they don't want to get this shot.
Health officials didn't know what to expect once everyone became eligible for the vaccine in both Georgia and South Carolina. But the reality is becoming clear.
We have noticed a drop-off in overall demand for appointments at our sites.
Dr. Stephen Goggins is the director for DPH across the CSRA. He says some appointments are starting to go unfilled.
Part of the slacking demand at some of the larger sites is that people can get their shots in other locations.
But he also believes there's less enthusiasm and there's barriers to sign up, especially in rural areas. It's why some vaccination sites are now allowing walk-ins. An Associated Press study found that 36% of Republicans said they would probably or definitely not get vaccinated, to only 12% of Democrats.
It's going to take a little bit more in terms of outreach. You try to educate those folks. You try to make them aware of how to go through the process.
We're going to go through some vaccination numbers for you from our biggest 4 counties in Georgia. 18% of Richmond County is fully vaccinated. Meanwhile, 21% of the population is fully vaccinated in both Columbia and Burke counties. The county with the highest percentage of people vaccinated is Lincoln County at 22%. The lowest is 13% in McDuffie, Emmanuel, and Glasscock counties, some of those rural areas. Something we noticed, females are getting shots at higher rates in every single one of our Georgia counties. South Carolina does not provide as detailed data as Georgia's Department of Public Health, but we are reaching out to get these same figures for our South Carolina counties as well.
Interesting data there, Brady. Thank you. Okay, check out this vaccine clinic. This was at Daniel Field Airport today. Gold Cross set up inside the main hangar administering the Pfizer vaccine all afternoon. Organizers say turnout was even better than expected, so that is some good news. And they hope to hold as many clinics in the future as they possibly can. So if you want to get vaccinated, here's a look at a few opportunities coming up. There's a Pfizer Clinic happening tomorrow in Appling. It's sponsored by the Richmond County Health Department and Shifa Medical Clinic. It'll be from 10 to 2 at the Rosemont Baptist Association right off of Burks Mountain Road. No appointments, just walk in, so that does make it a little bit easier. You don't have to figure out, where to go online. Just show up. Next week, University Hospital holding a Moderna clinic. That's at the Tabernacle Baptist Church in Augusta. That's happening Tuesday. They'll be back out there the following week on the 29th for a Pfizer clinic. So we have the details and the links to sign up for those online for you.
Also today, Augusta City leaders interviewing the final 4 candidates to become this.
It makes a community whole.
And starting here in the next hour, Mayor Davis is expected to deliver his annual State of the City address. It is virtual this year, so if you want to watch that, it starts at 7 o'clock. Just grab your laptop or your phone, and we have the link for you online. Just search State of the City.
This month, Augusta University is raising awareness about sexual assault.
And they're doing it through their annual Clothesline Project. Really visual. News 12's Zaina Halliburton live from campus to tell us even more about why it's important to shine a light on this right now, Zaina.
Every year for decades, AU partners with local organizations to put together the Clothesline Project with one goal in mind, and that's to spread awareness. But this year, these t-shirts you see all along here are traveling all across AU campuses for more people to see. It's on us. That's the message AU hopes people understand, showing it takes multiple people to help make a difference.
We're trying to change the culture by educating that it could happen to anyone, that it's not just a stereotypical female.
The t-shirts lined up outside and inside the Student Activity Center are created by staff, community members, and students who have experienced sexual assault or know someone who has. Title IX coordinator Julie Nuker says on average, AU sees between 50 to 60 reported sexual misconduct cases each year. This includes domestic violence, stalking, and even exploitation. She says recently there's been a decrease in these kinds of reports, and the pandemic and virtual learning could be a reason why.
I would hope that it's because of all the prevention and education we're doing throughout campus, but I have to think that it's due to people just not being around each other as much.
But it's not just an issue on college campuses. University Hospital also offers services to sexual assault victims around the CSRA. They say they saw about a 32% decrease in reported cases from 2019 to 2020. But again, they stress just because fewer cases were reported does not mean fewer sexual assaults are happening. In fact, now more than ever, Nuker says help is out there.
Getting more people involved, and they see these visual, they think it can't happen to them, but it can, or, it could have happened to somebody you know. They have the power to do something. If they see something, say something.
There are a variety of resources out there for people looking for therapy, to support groups, to even prevention education programs. We'll have that information as well as a 24-hour crisis hotline on our website.
Really important information. When you see all those shirts lined up representing people, really drives it home. Zaina, thank you. As we continue.
Also ahead, some AU health research finding its way into a medical journal, and there's promising news about moms and babies and COVID.
I'm Jason.
Nursing moms and their babies have some new hope in this pandemic thanks to an Augusta mom and nurse.
It is no secret breast milk strengthens the immune system in newborns, but little was known about the impact of COVID-19 in nursing moms until now. Our I-Team's Liz Owens sat down with researchers who made the discovery.
The Journal of Breastfeeding published a study from Augusta University just recently. It's full of long words and medical terms, but the message is clear. Nursing mothers pass some protection to their newborn against the deadly virus. From mother to microscope,
puzzle about the neonatal immunity.
a mystery unfolds inside a lab at Augusta University.
We just looked at the breast milk and we found that there are a very good number of them.
Them being the secret ingredient in breast milk, innate lymphoid cells, or ILCs, a SWAT team of immune cells. The proof came from a North Augusta mother, a nurse practitioner, Crystal A. Strike.
What was your first thought when you found out you had COVID?
I was nervous. Obviously, we have 2 kids, and she was really young. From what we knew, we didn't think that it would cause serious effects for her, but at the same time, we weren't sure.
Adeline never got COVID from her mother or from another close encounter at school. But Dr. Babbitt Babin at Augusta University did get something that was priceless. A breast milk sample from a COVID-positive mother to compare to a sample he had already had from Crystal for another study before COVID hit the U.S.
Scientists always are after finding the reason really why, how body is protected when we are born. So we thought maybe these cells are giving sort of immunity at the very early stage of our life.
Dr. Babin reported on ILCs in breast milk 3 years ago and has been studying since then.
So if this is a cell and if this is a virus, when it gets into the virus, as soon as it goes in the cell and basically unload its genome inside the virus, inside the cell immediately start production of this protein, which is called interferon alpha. Why it's called interferon? It is come from interference, basically. It interferes with the virus life cycle.
Which brings us to the milk samples from Crystal and why having one pre-COVID and one post-COVID is groundbreaking.
This protein was super high in the milk, which is very, very unexpected. It is a big molecule.
The infected milk sample contained more virus-blocking proteins than the pre-COVID sample by 8-fold. Crystal still can't believe the national and even global implications of her donations.
It's really reassuring that you kind of did the right thing, and that perhaps me breastfeeding protected her.
Including this case, there are 26 cases of nursing mothers with COVID-19 and no vertical transmission to the infants.
It's a fascinating field which we have just opened.
The I-Team also analyzed this. Researchers at Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis published a study around the same time as researchers at AU. Their study showed vaccinated mothers are also passing COVID-fighting antibodies to their infants. They found a huge boost in the antibodies against the COVID-19 virus in breast milk, starting 2 weeks after the first Pfizer shot. The study also shows nursing mothers who receive a COVID-19 vaccine may pass protective antibodies to their babies through breast milk for at least 80 days following vaccination.
I'm just excited to be able to be part of the research and that we could do something to help, put pieces of the puzzle together and give some comfort to moms who may be in a stressful situation of having COVID and being worried about their baby.
Researchers at AU also found an increase of another type of cell in the post-COVID milk as well. They believe it could give the mother some protection against COVID in the breast. They're studying that right now. Liz Owens, on your side.
just one more reason they call it liquid gold,
It
right?
really is liquid gold, and it is reassuring because, I was pregnant, I was nursing in the pandemic, I had a lot of friends who were, and a lot of us kept nursing for that reason, in case we got COVID, in case, the vaccine came out and helped. So it does help you feel like all that work, paid off.
You think of the women all around the world who could benefit from this study right here in Augusta.
Absolutely, yes.
Pretty
Love
impressive.
that homegrown ground truth, as we like to
Yeah, we
call it.
like that. Let's head outside and get a little ground truth right now. Some pure sunshine, the shadows.
I'm Mike Costello. On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
We are here on Washington Road. I am with President Arnisha Wright of the Georgia Soul out here on a very celebratory day. Arnisha, what are we doing out here today?
Today we're celebrating. We have our media day, so we're just coming out. We wanted to have the community out. We just have all the teams out, the basketball players, the cheerleaders, the dancers, the staff. We just wanted to do something where we could have the community involved and give away some money today.
Tell us a little bit about your organization, the Georgia Soul.
So we're the Georgia Soul Women's Basketball Organization, and you may just think we're just basketball. We're more than just basketball. We're a mentorship organization. We're just trying to get out in the community and just do something just bigger than basketball. So everybody has a love for the game of basketball, but that's what brings us together. But that's not what the organization is based on. It's about bringing the community together, doing something different. And I think we're the only professional organization in Augusta that has cheerleaders, dancers, basketball players. So.
And how can people get involved if they wanted to be a part of this?
Well, they can come follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and then you can also go to GeorgiaSoulBasketball.com and then hit the contact us, or you can email us at thegeorgiasoul@gmail.com.
And so we're doing some cool things out here. One of those things is a three-point contest. If I can get a shot real quick, get these guys back here. Can we get somebody shooting? They're warming up for the three-point contest. I've got some stretching to do before I hop in here. Yeah, fellas, put some shots up. Yeah, see, I'll leave it to the professionals. But we've got more coming up at 11 o'clock with these guys. We've also got Braves golf, and we hear from Frank Martin for the first time since being re-signed as head coach of USC men's basketball. That's all coming up 11. Stay tuned for that. I'll send it back to you guys.
Alrighty, thanks, Nick.